At what point do you, this is just trading strategy now, at what point do you look at the markets and you say to yourself, it's time to go against the herd? I mean, the herd isn't always right, of course, as we know, but they're not always wrong either. At what point do you differentiate between when the herd is right and when the herd is wrong?
I think that's a good question. So I believe that the herd is right for periods of time and wrong over time. So you don't want to get caught up against them in that period of time that they're right? So really, for me, how I do it is I'm waiting for market confirmation. I don't make any trades unless, I can have a million thoughts about this, that, and the other thing, but I don't make a trade until the market confirms what I'm looking to do. So what does that mean? Well, let's say I'm looking to get long banks for those reasons that I just decided, right? So am I just going to buy banks today because I happened to come up with this idea this morning? No, I'm not going to. I'm going to watch the tickers and I'm going to watch the banks, and I'm going to watch them when they start to perform well. Let's say the yield curve continues to go negative, and yet the banks outperform. They shouldn't be, but they do. That's when I will do it. So that's the market confirming what I'm thinking against the consensus thought. So consensus thinks yield curve going negative, negative banks, and yet the bank stocks outperform. That's when I'm looking to go with it.
I will mention that the banks across the board, Morgan Stanley cutting staff by 2%. So is this an indicator of them going through a tough time, or are they just becoming leaner and trimming down fat, so to speak? In other words,
I think everybody is preparing for the coming recession. That's what they're doing.
Which
right?
You don't think is happening. So
it's not a question of I don't think it's happening. I think that if you've already prepared for it, then a market, it's not a question of whether the recession comes, it's how the market reacts to it and what the market's going to do, right? So if everybody's already prepared for it, then I don't know what the upside to trading that is, right? There's much more upside to trading against that, in particular, once the market confirms what you're saying, right? Like now, just in general on the S&P, we're going to break, I don't know where we're going to close today because it's a pretty volatile day, but we're most likely going to break through the upper end of this resistance level, right as everybody's talking recession. So that's the market confirming the contrarian trade to me.